Hello and welcome to AUC Observer Show. This is Gihad Asom reporting to you. Today there will be various reports and features covering the latest stories that are happening on AUC campus. Also, we will be hosting Senior Sports Director Mr. Sharif Al Aryan to talk about the latest sports achievements and plans for the AUC community. AUC Radio Studio allows students to produce 6 to 8 shows and broadcast for their courses twice a month. More on this with our reporter Salma Dessouy.
If you want to get the best quality of audio, you should use the AUC Radio Studio. But you need first to book the date and the slot, and then the department should approve. The studio is divided into a recording booth where the students record inside and the control room to control the audio that comes out of the microphone to produce the best and highest quality.
We have the highest and the best quality of audio, which allowed some of our students to submit their programs and their shows for awards, and they actually get these awards. And it wasn't once or twice or thrice, but it was many. For instance, I can remember in the few years I worked in the AUC, minimum 10 or more than that who won the award, the first place awards.
We use this studio to record our audio, the rundown. It's a podcast weekly. So basically how we come to the studio is that we send an email to JRMC studio booking a slot for Sunday, for Monday, for any day from 1 to 2, for example, and me and my team come here to produce the rundown weekly. And that's it.
Students learn in AUC Radio how they can produce high-quality audio.
Exactly. Do not hit on the table. Okay.
The studio here is isolated well and has all the equipment, allowing many students to submit their shows and programs.
3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the rundown. My name is Lamal Husseini, and today I'm going to talk about...
Anyone can use it and utilize the equipment. However, there are procedures and safety precautions we should follow to save the equipment. You are welcome anytime to record your audio.
Three of the most mind-blowing figures in Egypt's electronic scene joined forces for a spectacular performance at AUC. More on this with our reporter Noor Bakr.
AUC's music program presents In Potential, an exploration of Egypt's audiovisual sphere. In collaboration with AUC's Avant-Garde magazine for the first time, the event takes place at Malak Gabr Theater in AUC.
ده أول مرة نعمل كولابوريشن، وأظن ده أول كولابوريشن الميوزك ديبارتمنت يعمله مع أي ستودنت انتيتي. قبل كده كان شغلهم بيبقى سولو يعني، فذاتس برضه حاجة اكسايتنج بالنسبة لنا إن إحنا we're spearheading something إن هو ممكن في قدام مش بس يكون افانجارد اللي بيعملوا كولابوريشنز مع ميوزك ديبارتمنت. انا شايف ان هو كولابوريشن ان جنرال بيدي مساحه لطيفه للناس.
Feature performance are Yunus, Post-Drone, and Ismail Hosni. Three of the most mind-blowing figures in Egypt's electronic scenes join forces to put on a spectacular audiovisual performance. The show is to set feature amendment and busy Have sonics with a blend of Lurk-inspired music over a variety of audio-visual expression. Yunus is an Egyptian electronics player and is known for his electrifying electro-shabi performance.
دي أول مرة أتعاون مع حد بيلعب فيجوالز، فأخدنا فيديوهات من يعني المشروع اللي أنا لعبته دلوقتي اسمه عروج. هو بشتغل فيه، هو يعتبر عرض موسيقي راقص، بشتغل فيه مع راقصين من فرنسا. فكنا عملنا زي اوبن جام كده مع اكتر من 30 راقص واخدنا فيديوهات. فاخدنا الفيديوهات دي وبعتها لزينة واشتغلنا مع بعض على الدايركشن سوا، وطلعت النتيجة حلوة جدا يعني.
think it's Zar music like. Yeah, it's not really my style, but I mean it's really interesting. I enjoyed it.
انا مبسوط ان الايسي عامه بتعمل حاجه زي كده وبدات يبقى في فرصه للناس اللي حتى مش AUC او artists عامه بره الايسي. انا مبسوط من ده عامه.
I really like it. I think it's really cool to see يعني the audio and visuals linked together, and I'm really enjoying it. I feel tranced كده.
Due to COVID-19, seats are limited and people are seated on first-come, first-served basis. This was Noorpak from AUCTV.
AUC campus includes a great variety of restaurants, and it includes the healthy restaurants as well. More on this aspect with our reporter Iman Said.
Nowadays, we all can recognize how the word healthy being popular. From this point, we can see the spread of the healthy restaurants everywhere. A healthy lifestyle is a vital part of our lives. There are some things that we must do to live a healthy life. The first thing to do is to ensure that you eat healthy meals even when you are out from home. So, at home it is easy to make your own healthy food, but when people are out, the healthy type of restaurants will be definitely a good choice for them. And here in AUC, there are a huge variety of restaurants, the healthy ones and the other restaurants, which includes a healthy menus as well.
بنقدم فريش جوس كوكتيلز وهيلثي فود. اللي بيميزنا ان احنا بنقدم حاجه مش موجوده في بقيه المطاعم التانية، اللي هي فريش جوس والهيلثي فود. هو احنا ما حاولناش نعمل استفتاء او نقدم او نسال مثلا او نشوف الطلبه محتاجين ايه، بس هنحاول ان شاء الله في الفتره الجايه نعمل حاجه زي كده. الحاجه الجديده احنا عندنا نزلنا ايتم شاي ماتشا، حاجات زي الماتشا.
Not only the healthy food restaurants in the university offers the healthy type of food, but also the main AUC cafeteria has a menu which includes a healthy types of food and the various and different choices for the students and staff to choose from.
يعتبر الكافيتيريا أكبر مكان في الجامعة الطلبة بيخدم الطلبة. احنا كل يوم بنغير الأكل عن اليوم اللي قبله، يعني كل يوم لازم اللاين عندي نوعين البروتين اللي فيه يبقوا متغيرين، او اللاين كله يبقى متغير عن اليوم اللي قبله. اهم حاجه ان الاكل يبقى صحي اكتر كمان. هي عندي السلطات تمام، والخضار اللي هو السوتيه او المشوي يعتبر من الاكلات الصحيه. الاستفتاء عن طريق الجامعه، عن طريق دكاتره الجامعه اللي هم بييجوا يطبقوا الموضوع، يسالوا الطلاب وايه مدى قابليتهم وحبهم للاكل.
Students here in AUC spend a lot of time in the university. How do they choose the type of food they eat, and how do they control the bad eating habits?
I come to university like 3 times a week. I usually buy my food from TBS or Subway. Salads or fruit, vegetables. I feel like that's the healthiest. I spend an average of 4 hours a day at uni usually, and I buy from restaurants here at uni. My favorite restaurant here is Tarwiya. However, it's not a very healthy choice. I think the only healthy restaurant here is Formula 1 Diffel, but it has a very small variety. I think it only sells fruit salad.
الجامعة ناقص ان يكون عندها healthy restaurants قوي، يعني محتاجين يزودوه عشان مفيش غير فورمولا 1 تقريبا بس.
إيمان السيد، AUCTV.
AUC's new Cairo campus has different meeting spaces for various purposes such as conferences, presentations, or concerts. More to see in this report done by Fatma Al-Khatib.
The American University in Cairo offers meeting space for different events. These events include academic conferences, public lectures, classes, and seminars. The Events Management Office is responsible for organizing and managing every aspect of the event.
عندنا الوليد هول، عندنا BO19 BO20 22. دول بيغيروا السيت اب حسب الريكوستر هو عايز ايه. وفي عندنا قاعات فيكسد ما بتبقاش محتاجة سيت اب زي قاعة باسيلي مثلا او الليكتشر هولز ميري كروس او محمد شفيق جبر او منصور، دول اوريدي فيكسد. عندنا فورمه للريزرفيشن، عندنا فورمه للسيت اب، عندنا فورمه للكيترينج، عندنا فورمه للساينج.
AUC New Cairo campus has 5 main indoor venues beside the lecture halls and meeting rooms. Basili Auditorium is the largest venue at AUC. It's suitable for international conferences, meetings, seminars, and concerts. The theater had fixed seating on 2 levels and accommodates around 1,255 people. Also, the theater is equipped with audio-visual devices, providing services such as cinema screen and film presentation. Mu'taz Al-Alfi Hall is another venue at AUC. It accommodates around 200 people. The hall could be reserved beside outdoor space for dinner or other purposes. After the pandemic, capacity for each venue changes according to AUC policy to ensure social distance and attendees' safety.
أول ما بدأنا بعد كورونا كنا يعني خلاص الكباستيز بتاعة القاعات تعتبر نزلت لحوالي بقينا واخدين 40% من أصل الكباستي. بقينا نحسبها إن احنا نسيب ما بين كل كرسيين 2 متر. اوكي، بعد ما الناس كلها خدت الفاكسين قللوها بقت 1.5 متر.
Beside other meeting spaces on campus, AUC Garden is suitable for outdoor events. Every event needs a unique preparation, as many events strongly impact AUC members. Fatma Al-Khatib, AUCTV.
With AUC Center of the Arts serving as a creative domain for students of all interests to express their arts, AUC's theater department premieres a new play showcasing ancient Egypt set in stone. Yusuf Al-Ghannam has more on this.
From theater to graphic design, AUC's Center of the Arts is home to students' artistic expressions. AUC's theater department introducing a new production set in stone, showcasing an ancient Egyptian story in an entertaining way. As they decided to approach this production in a mixture of both comedy and drama, this produced all types of challenges for the actors, stage manager Hannah Skandar, and director Amira Shurbaki.
We decided to take a different approach to this play. Like any other play, we decided to add a bit of comedy, a bit of drama, a bit of suspense in order to be visually appealing to the audience.
The plot merely describes the historical story of Isis and Osiris. However, actors are given a huge responsibility to being historically accurate, yet in an amusing way.
This show is a show about gods. Not the way you've seen them before, but more human. And so all the set, all the lights, all the props, all that stuff, while it's big and it's grand and it's cool and it looks really, really fun, there is still a human side to it. So while the props and the set and all that stuff is really, really big and really, really cool, it's not overwhelming to the point where you're going to walk out of the show only remembering the lights or only remembering the set. You are going to remember the actors on stage. And I think that's a really cool balance that we've stricken up. And we have the Delta painted on the floor. And to me, while that to some people might remind you that these are gods towering over the city, it also reminds you that this is their home and they're just people who love their home.
With this play becoming an educational medium for audience members to learn about ancient Egyptian history, this play shows how history can be fun in an entertaining way. This has been Yusuf Al-Ghannam for AUC TV, Cairo.
The athlete department holds on election for the first time in the American University in Cairo to establish an athlete committee. So what's the role of this committee? Muhammad Assam has more on this.
The American University in Cairo launches for the first time elections to found an athlete committee. So what's the role for this elected committee?
Having an athletes committee is a dream come true. We have all a representation of all the sports being played at AUC, equal gender equality between girls and boys. They are all represented. 41 student athletes in all the more than 30 sports that we are doing, as well as the international students are all represented in our athletes committee. They are going to be major stakeholders with us in our decisions as the athletic department, as they are our, I'm not going to say clients, but they are our major target. Okay, they are the main people who we are doing our work to benefit them.
The participation of the applicants in this election is based on a definite criteria. So what are the conditions required for the candidates to be eligible?
So to participate in the committee, we must have a minimum GPA of 2.5 and to be a team captain of some sport. And yeah, these are the criteria.
Each candidate in this election has a future plan to play an effective role in this committee.
That I want to do a better connection between the athletes and the office, the department. I want to solve the athletes' problems as much as I can. So these are the two main things that I want to do.
To help athletes and players to voice their concerns and to provide them with better life in university and balancing their academic side with their extracurricular or their co-curricular side, which is their sport that they're playing. So yeah, any concerns they have, we're planning on improving the problems they're facing.
Is to represent the underrepresented sports and also work on myself and along with my teammates to bring all the sports back to the par, as we stopped for a year in the last year because of COVID. The Office of Athletics is now back and back strong, and we would like to start off our years with a lot of competitions, a lot of championships and a lot of medals as well.
The Athletic Committee seeks to enhance the requirements of the community of athletes in AUC. This is Mohammed Hassan, AUCTV, Cairo.
AUC's athletes grabbed more than 19 medals this season. The AUC celebrated their accomplishments during the assembly. Our reporter Jaida Shukri has more on this.
The AUC celebrated its athletes' achievements at the New Cairo campus during the assembly hour on Thursday. Collectively, the AUC athletes brought in more than 19 medals this season. The students and athletes gathered outside the library for some fun, festivities, and a word from AUC President Ahmed Al-Dallal.
Now, please join me in congratulating AUC student athletes on their remarkable achievements this season. You exemplify everything that AUC wants to be about. You exemplify determination, you exemplify team spirit, and sportsmanship, which are really key ways in which we would like to define ourselves. So thank you for doing what you do.
The AUC is currently in the midst of many university tournaments, namely men's and women's basketball, as well as men's and women's volleyball. Senior Director Sharif Al-Arian also had a few words to say about the university's involvement in the African Games.
We will make AUC proud in the zonal games that are coming up, in the finals for the team events, in the university games, and hopefully the big finale will be the All-African University Games. For the first time, AUC will compete, and I'm sure we'll have a great performance. Thank you all.
COVID-19 is one of the challenges that face the students, with some teams like track and field going as far as setting up fitness sessions on Zoom. However, they did not let it get their team spirit down.
Honestly, it's been a great experience. We have been all treating each other like family, and for the first time we have over 20 athletes, which didn't happen ever in track and field because it's an individual sport and each one is for himself basically.
Other teams have also achieved a great deal this season, like swimming.
I started off the season with winning 2 medals in the National Universities Tournament. I got second and third place. After the National Universities Tournament, I went to the Ocean Man World Championships. I got third overall, which is, it wasn't expected at all.
The event highlighted the players' dedication and commitment to their sport, and the AUC Eagles' team spirit, alongside some fun activities and good food. This is Jaida Shukri reporting for AUC TV, Cairo.
Since the 25th of January revolution took place back in 2011, The AUC campus has held a special part of it. More on this on our next story.
The American University in Cairo campus is considered a state of art, and one of its iconic features is the Basili Auditorium with its memorial collage paintings of the 25th of January Revolution. What's most interesting about those paintings is that they consist of small various pictures of the real events that took place during that period of the revolution. Today that we are in 2022, 11 years post the revolution, we wondered how different generations of the AUC would reflect on such representation of history that is also part of their campus.
During the revolution 2011, how old were you?
I was 11.
I was 7 years old.
I was 11. I was 11 years old.
I was 21 years old.
I was 8 years old.
يعني هو I remember يعني staying at home. I remember everything being يعني closed. We had no like internet. There was no signal. I wasn't here in Egypt. However, I heard يعني my parents talking about it, and all of the news were it covered everything.
What I remember briefly كده, news was all politics. It wasn't really a fun time for me.
A semester abroad I was in the US in the American University, and I was just returning back from the US, and then the revolution happened.
No, I wasn't really aware of what was going on because I was only 8 years old, but the only thing I noticed was my father going and coming back early in the morning after he finished the campaign.
Honestly, I can't remember anything. I was too young, and I think that the environment wasn't safe.
How do you feel about the paintings reflecting the 25th of Jan on campus?
I think they reflect the revolution. I saw them many times, but I didn't عمري ما ركزت في الديتيلز أو الناس اللي في البينتينجز عمري ما ركزت فيها بس I think they are very iconic. I think it really resembles the revolution with all the people that was dying and so on. So I think they're good paintings that resemble يعني, how the revolution was. It does يعني pay like a little tribute. يعني every time I go and see those يعني drawings اللي هو I'm taken back to this time again اللي هو and see like how يعني how much we've come since then.
They take a part of Egyptian history and they put it in AUC. I find them really amusing.
I really like them. I feel that it makes people more proud of what they did.
It gives you memories back, and I think it reflects the identity of the Egyptian culture in general, and yeah, I really appreciate the art.
Seeing those pictures from afar would always stop you for a while to reminisce over memories. Only when you get closer to start watching history being told through the art of photography. That's when you cherish this remarkable memorial of the AUC campus. Gihad Assam Abdelrazek, AUC TV.
Hello and welcome again. Today we are hosting Senior Director of the Athletes Department, Mr. Sharif Al Aryan, to talk about all the new achievements and the plans for the AUC community in the sports community. Hello, Mr. Sharif.
Hello.
We've been witnessing lately the first elections for the Athletes Committee taking place in AUC, first time in the history of the campus. Why did you choose to establish such a committee?
I chose to establish such a committee because I wanted the student athletes to be involved in our decision making in the athletics department. To empower them, this is very important for us. We are all working for their benefit, for their satisfaction. So it is very important that their voices are heard. The 22nd of February, we held our first official meeting for the Athletes Committee. The Athletes Committee is composed of all the team captains. We have now more than 41 team captains, okay, in different sports, men and women. We have gender equality between them. And it was very important to have this meeting on the 22nd of February, and they get to choose their own chair, co-chairs. It was a very successful meeting. They chose Heidi Adel. There were two people running for the chair position, and Heidi Adel one. Heidi represents AUC in so many multiple sports. She's a 3-time Olympian. She started with the Youth Olympics in 2014 and then qualified to Rio de Janeiro in 2016, and lately she was in our national team in 2021 in Tokyo. I think it's a good choice. Hopefully she can do good work in this committee. 2 co-chairs also were chosen, Ahmed Harfouch, who's a rower, and Yasmin Abulanin from the soccer team. As I said, Heidi represents AUC in swimming, in athletics, in pentathlon, in fencing, so four different sports. So
she will be fully aware of all aspects of
I hope, and she's a senior.
Yeah.
So that also makes a difference. She knows all the school, all the university policies, and she's been there for a long time.
Is it mandatory to be a senior to take this role, or we can have different people, juniors or sophomores?
No, it's not. In our statutes for the Athletes Committee, it's not mandatory to be a senior, a freshman, or a junior. It's by choice if you want to nominate yourself, and then the whole committee decides who will be the chair and co-chairs.
What will be the main strategy for the committee towards the community?
There's a lot of community engagement events that are going to take place in the coming few weeks and months, and it was important that they have to be involved with us in the running of those events. AUC is hosting a huge event, which is the World Cup for Modern Pentathlon, the first event for the International Federation in 2022. Which will be hosted at the AUC campus from 22nd till 27th of March. We still have the University Games, the 49th Egyptian University Games running with the team sports. We have the zonal games, Zone 5 games, which are the private universities, is going to be held in Ramadan. And then we are preparing all our teams for qualifying, hopefully, and competing in the All-African Games, University Games, which will be held from the 5th to the 11th of June in Kenya.
Great. This takes us to the question of all those teams, are they affected with the current pandemic, the COVID-19 measures that we are taking on campus? How things are going towards the trainings and being in championships?
All those teams were highly affected really in the last 2 years. It was a disaster. We didn't play in the University Games. There was no trainings, everything was online, but we have been back since the fall semester, not with our full power, but since the start of this semester, everything is running smoothly, indoor sports, outdoor sports. We have, as I said, more than 20-something sports being held here at AUC, and it's running very smoothly.
Thank you so much for your time today. We had a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you.
This was all for today's show. Hope you enjoyed it and see you next week.